أعزائي طلاب وطالبات الصف الخامس الابتدائي، أهلا بكم في حلقة جديدة ودرس جديد من مادة العلوم باللغة الإنجليزية تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. Welcome dear student. In this episode we will learn lesson number 2, solution. So let's start our lesson. Before we start, I want you to remember that matter classified into pure matter and mixture, and we studied that in last lesson. So solution is a mixture. Why solution is a mixture? But solution is a special mixture, and we will know why it's a special. But it's mixture because it consists of two or more type of matter. That's right. So let's start solution. Like this one, apple juice. Apple juice is a solution. Why it's a solution? Solution is a special type of mixture where its components are mixed and interfere till you cannot distinguish between its particles. We cannot distinguish between particles of apples and water particles. مش قادرين نفرق بين جزيئات التفاح الصغيرة جدا وجزيئات المية. طب ده يعتبر mixture؟ mixture. ليه mixture؟ consists of two or more types of matter. So it's mixture. So why it's solution? Solution because we cannot distinguish between particles of apples and water particles. مش ما نقدرش نفرق بين جزيئات التفاح وجزيئات المية. بيدينا حاجة صافية جدا ما نقدرش نفرق بين جزيئاتها، علشان كده بنسميها solution أو محلول. تعالوا نعرف أكتر عن solution. Formation of solution. Solution consists of solvent like water, solute or solute like salt. So we have here two cups. One of them salt plus water and the other mud plus water. We cannot distinguish the particles of salts. Why? Because salt dissolve in water, while we can distinguish particles of mud in water. نقدر نشوف جزيئات المد الطين في المية، جزيئات الملح مش قادرين نشوفها. يبقى أنهي واحد فيهم ممكن نقول عليه solution والتاني ما نقدرش نقول عليه solution؟ مين يعرف؟ قلنا إيه؟ We said that solution we cannot distinguish particles of solution. We cannot distinguish salt, particles of salt or table salt in water, so it is a solution. While we can distinguish, نقدر نشوف the mud particles in water, so it is not a solution. We cannot say mud in water is a solution, but it's a mixture. Mixture of what? Solid particles, mud, and liquid, which is, yes, water. So it's solid liquid mixture, and also salt and water, solid liquid mixture, but salt and water special. Why special? Because we cannot distinguish particles of salt in water. So solvent like water. Solvent, what is a solvent? Solvent المادة اللي بيدوب فيها أي حاجة أحطها أو بيدوب فيها حاجات أنا أقدر أحطها، فاسمها solvent. Solute like salt dissolve in solvent. بيدوب في السولفنت زي السكر وزي الملح، كلهم بنسميهم ايه؟ solute. Okay? Let's continue. Here is a question. Give reason particles of sugar are not seen throughout sugary solution. Why we cannot see sugar in sugary solution? After we put sugar in water and stirring, forming sugary solution. Sugary solution means sugar in water. مية فيها سكر اسمها محلول sugary solution. تمام؟ طيب ليه مش شايفين جزيئات السكر؟ Why we cannot see particles of sugar? That because sugar dissolved in water and it forms solution. Because it's dissolved and disappears and formed a solution. Another question. Particles of mud are seen throughout water. We can see and we can distinguish particles of mud inside water because of what? Because mud doesn't dissolve in water. Mud does not dissolve in water. That's why we call mud is insoluble matter, doesn't dissolve in water. And we said we can separate. Can we separate salt from water? We studied before that we cannot separate salt from water by filtration. Why? Because salt dissolves in water. We can use filtration to separate what? Mud from water. That's a quick revision. Solvent. Number one, solvent. And we said solvent and solute. Number one, solvent. So solvent, it is a substance in which solute disappears or disperses or dissolves. Dissolves يعني يختفي. Disperses يعني يتشتت. Disappears يعني يختفي. كل دي حاجات بتحصل لإيه؟ للparticles of بتحصل بيعملها solvent للsolute. So solvent, substance in which solute disperses or dissolves or even disappear inside this solvent. Solvent like what? Examples for solvent: water, alcohol, benzene. All of them are solvent. And water is a special one, and we will know why water special solvent. So let's continue. Number two, solute. So solute, it is substance in which dissolves in solvent. It dissolves in solvent. Substance like what? We said salt before. Salt is a solute. Examples: salt, sugar, and all of them are solute. Why? Because they dissolve in solvent. Dissolve in solvent like water or alcohol or something else. So they are solute. So let's know what is solution. Solution is a mixture. Why mixture? Mixture because it consists of more than one. We said 2, 3, 4, more than one type of particles. So it's solution. Solution is a mixture in which solute breaks down into its most basic particles that spread throughout the solvent. Spread throughout the solvent mean disappear in the solvent. Examples: salty solution, which is made up of salt and water. Salty solution, apple juice, and tea. All of them are solutions. Why? Because we cannot distinguish particles of salt inside water, inside salty solution. And also we cannot distinguish particles of apples inside apple juice, which is a solution. Also tea, we cannot distinguish particles of tea inside cup of tea. That's why they are solutions. So I want you to look at this beaker. This beaker contains what? Contains solution, which made up of solvent like water and solute like salt or sugar. The quantity of solvent always be more than solute. So we disappear or we dissolve a small amount of solute inside large amount of solvent. So solvent always more than solute. Water is a common solvent. We said water is a special, and now I will tell you why. Water is a common solvent because thousands of substance dissolves in it. Thousands of substance, آلاف المواد بتذوب في الماء. علشان كده بنسمي إن الماء عبارة عن مذيب solvent. مذيب إيه؟ شائع أو مذيب بيبقى مشهور جدا إن إحنا بندوب فيه معظم الحاجات اللي إيه اللي ممكن تدوب. Water is a common solvent because thousands of substance dissolve in water. So let's know how to form a solution. Formation of a solution. Examples: salty solution. So how we can form salty solution? Who can tell me? We said formation of mixture before, stirring, grinding, shaking. The same. We will use one of them. We will use stirring to form salty solution, ملح and ومية. Salty solution, adding salt into water, then stirring the salt. The salt represent what? The solute, while will dissolve in water. Water represent solvent. This process is called solubility process. This process called solubility process. So what is solubility process? We will know that. So when we dissolve some salt in water, the salt disappear in water. So the salt is solute, perfect. And water, solvent. Amazing. So let's continue and know what is solubility process. Solubility process, it is the process by which a solute dissolves in solvent, leading to the disappearance of solute. Solute will disappear. And I want you to try to dissolve a spoon of sugar or salt in a cup of water. And I want you to know, to focus, what will happen to the solute. Is it will disappear or it will not? I'm sure it will disappear, and I want you to try this. So salt disappears in water, forming salty solution. Sugar disappears in water, forming sugary solution. How would disappear? So when we put a cube of sugar in water, the cube will dissolve. What is meant by dissolve? يتفكك. Dissolve it to its most basic particles, to small particles. This particle spread in water and forming the solution. Forming solution because the particles disappears behind molecules of water. So here is a question, give reason. Chocolate milk. We all love chocolate milk. Chocolate milk considered as a solution. So chocolate is considered as a solute. Why? Why? Chocolate is a solute in chocolate milk. Because of what? It dissolves in milk. Milk is a solvent. So solute, chocolate is a solute. Why? Because it dissolves in the solvent, which is milk. So chocolate dissolves in milk. So chocolate called solute, while milk called solvent. That's great. Substance can be classified according to their solubility into two parts or into two types. The first one, a soluble substance. Soluble substance. Number two, an insoluble substance. Soluble substance and insoluble substance. مواد بتذوب، مواد لا تذوب. Soluble تذوب في الماء. Insoluble لا تذوب. نكمل. A soluble substance, it is a substance that dissolves in solvent. It dissolves in solvent or disappear in solvent. Like what? Examples. Salt in salty solution. Salt is soluble substance. Sugar in sugary solution. Sugar dissolve in water, so it is a soluble substance. Again, number two, an insoluble substance. Insoluble substance will not dissolve. We know that previously. So the definition will be, it is the substance that does not dissolve in solvent, will never dissolve in solvent. Examples, mud in water, sand in water. We can distinguish particles of mud, particles of sand. Why? Because they will not dissolve in water, and sand will precipitate in water. So they are an insoluble substance, and insoluble substance will never form solution. Never form solution. So let's continue. Factors affecting solubility process. Solubility process عملية الذوبان. هل دي بتتأثر بعوامل؟ يعني ممكن أنا أقدر أسرع العملية دي وأخلي الحاجة تدوب بسرعة. Can we affect solubility process or increase solubility or decrease the time taking to dissolve something? So we will take 4 factors affecting solubility. The first one, quantity of solvent. Number 2, temperature. Number 3, stirring. Number 4, kind of solvent. So I have an example to show you the differences between each of them and how to increase solubility process. So let's go ahead. So let's show how to increase solubility process. First, if we have a cube of sugar, and this called solute, perfect, solute. Okay, plus we have water, and water is solvent. Again, this is solubility process. That's gave what? Gave a solution of sugar and water solution. This is solution. So how we can increase this process? ازاي نقدر نسرع العملية دي ونخلي العملية الذوبان دي تحصل في وقت أقل؟ تعالوا نشوف كذا طريقة. أول طريقة, the first one, we have here a cube of sugar. Again, it's a cube. And we have quantity of water. So, if we increase the amount of water and make it maybe double or triple, and it's the same cube of sugar, so solubility will increase by increasing amount of solvent. لما نزود المية اللي بندوب فيها عملية الذوبان تحصل بصورة أسرع. طب تعالوا نجرب حاجة تانية. Another beaker containing water, and we will dissolve a cube of sugar. But now we would do something else. We will heat water. By heating water, solubility will increase, mean the speed of solubility will increase by heating water. Another thing, the same cube, the same amount, but now we will do something else. We will stir this water and the cube of sugar using a rod. So by using a rod we will stir, هنقلب السوليوشن ده وهنشوف ايه اللي هيحصل. اكيد solubility speed will increase and the time taking to dissolve this sugar will decrease. The last one, if we have the same beaker and containing water and we have a cube of sugar and we will dissolve this here. So after grinding this sugar, grinding, making powder, sugar powder, the sugar will be powder, not a cube. So solubility will increase. The speed of solubility will increase by grinding this cube of sugar, making that area larger, increase the surface area of sugar, will increase solubility. So we have here, first one, increasing amount of solvent will increase solubility, and number 2, when we heat or increase temperature, solubility will increase. By stirring, solubility increase. By increasing surface area, solubility increase. Again, so let's continue and take this in some details. So let's continue factors affecting solubility in some details. So activity number one, to prove that quantity of solvent affecting solubility process. Tools needed: sugar, water, 2 beakers, stopwatch, and glass rod. Step: get to equal quantity of sugar solute, then put the first quantity in 300 milliliter of water and the other quantity in 50 milliliter of water. So number 2, stir it well and record the time needed for sugar to dissolve completely in each case. So as we see here, one of them is 50 and the other 300. We will observe that dissolving sugar in larger amount of water takes a shorter time, and we can conclude that solubility process depends on amount of solvent. And by increasing quantity of solvent, the speed of solubility will increase and vice versa. So let's see activity number 2 to prove that temperature affects the solubility process. Steps: put equal amount of sugar in 3 beakers containing the same amount of water as in the opposite figure. Here is the figure. We have equal amount of water, but the temperature is different from one beaker to another. One of them containing hot water, the other water in room temperature, and the third one ice water. We will observe that sugar takes shorter time to dissolve in hot water and takes longer time to dissolve in cold water. Inference: we can conclude by increased temperature and using the same amount of solvent and solute, the solubility or dissolving time will decrease. So here is a question. Give reason in dissolving sugar in a hot water is faster than cold water. Why? Because by increasing temperature, solubility will increase. Solubility increase by increasing temperature. Number 3, stirring. By stirring or increasing stirring, the speed of solubility will increase. Stir well, the solubility will increase. Number 4, the kind of solute. Kind of solute is different solutes disappears or dissolve in different time. So when we dissolve sodium chloride, it will be different than sodium carbonate. So time for question. So let's answer some questions. So let's answer some question on this lesson. Questions on lesson number 1, solutions. Choose the correct answer. Any solution composed of a solvent only, a solvent and a solute only. The right answer will be solvent and solute, both of them. Question number 2, substance in which solid dissolves and is cold. The substance that solid like salt will dissolve in cold what? Solvent. Perfect. Number 3, the solute in chocolate milk solution is water, chocolate, or milk. The solute will be chocolate. Perfect. Number 4, solubility process does not affected by temperature, type of solute, or color of solvent. It will not affected by color of solvent. The next question, number 5, is a common solvent as thousands of material dissolve in it. Water, alcohol, vinegar. Which one? Water. Perfect. Number 6, grinding the sugar cube decreases speed of solubility, prevents solubility process, or increase the speed of solubility. It will do what? It will decrease solubility. It will decrease the speed of solubility. So let's review the lesson. Okay, this is the last lesson in Unit 2, lesson number 2 in Unit 2 called Solution. And solution is a special type of mixture where its particle cannot be distinguished between particles of water and particles of solute. And we have many types of solution, and this solution could be what? Could be salty solution or sugary solution, affected by temperature, affected by steering, and affected by many things. We said it. I want you to study well and see you in next episode, inshallah.